So Miz always gets on me, you guys, because he says that he wants me to live more in the moment. And I was thinking about all the times that I get to watch him give amazing advice to everybody. And Shadow, you reached out to me and you've got your new project that's super important and special to you. Because, like, how long has it been since you've been out with a project?
15 plus.
Damn. So same as us.
Damn, that's crazy.
15 plus. And, you know, every day I get bombarded with messages like, when's it dropping? When's the new record coming out? So it's finally done and mastered, and that's why I'm here.
Well, and Ocho, we can even speak on that because, like, he was MIA. I didn't even think I would find Shadow. And you know, right when I popped back out after my 15-year hiatus, every time we would talk about the Latin hip hop scene, I'd always go back to you and the truth, Mr. Shadow. So Shadow called me and wanted to go over his new project and wanted to sit down with Miz and I. And it was dope to me because he brought up, what about your boy Ocho too? Because he's just on the new young marketing game.
He's the dude. He's the dude.
He's the guy.
He's the one you want involved, you know,
That's fire.
to cover all bases.
Well, and we ran into each other at Ocho's session.
Yes.
And you played me a couple of records, and I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, you pretty much have heard this whole project already in the
Fucking
car with
crazy.
him. Yeah.
He heard
Fucking
like 3
crazy.
songs.
Yeah.
And I'm stoked
Incredible.
because Miz, you know, his judging it means a lot to me, you know. And if there's anybody in the industry that I would want to get guidance from and to listen to my record before anybody else, it'd be you guys.
Oh,
You know what
I
mean?
love that.
So and Ocho, because you know the weight he carries on the social media stuff, and you know, I see him moving. I see what he's been doing, and if we can collaborate that with this, I think it could be something special.
Well, and I felt like that's all what Damizza's out here trying to push to the young, the older artists.
Oh,
the
don't put it
heritage
off on
artists.
me.
No, I am. It's this. I'm gonna put this on you. It's the synergy of it all and the working together. And again, I thought this would be a good opportunity for us to not only sit down and help each other, because not only are you going to help us from your ideas right now that you're going to spit to us that you want to do, but he's
When you
gonna
already
help.
had, we wouldn't be sitting here if it wasn't for you.
Right. Right. I mean, this concept was based on the call from you. So that's all of
I'm
us.
saying
building together.
history-wise. I mean,
Oh,
he was
yeah.
one of the first to fucking do it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Well,
So-
and lyrically do it like he did. Do you remember
Yeah.
that one day you came into the Power 106 studio? It was during my midday shift. And you said, Khoolaid, if you could play any song off your radio show, what would you want to play? And then without a thought, it was like Mr. Shadow Haters. And you said, okay, cool, let's go. And he said, play it.
Old song.
Do you remember that? You don't even remember?
Fuck no.
That's the type of shit you would do.
Well, you know, but you're talking like, I mean, that time in my life was a bit chaotic. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I wanted to give things a shot, but there were so many things going on that, you know, yes, I knew of, and yes, I had heard the songs, but I mean, it was your validation and your push that said that's the one that stands out in the gem of all of that product. Because, I mean, you were doing so much, like, I mean, there's reggaeton, Calderon, and freaking, you know, all of these freaking records. I'm breaking this, I'm breaking that. I'm like, damn, how you know what I mean? So
things haven't changed because you've always
and,
done the
and,
same.
and, you know, I've known Shadow for years. So it's like, it was different always, you know, with people that you know, as opposed to things, you know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't remember that moment, but I remember the record.
All right, so let's talk about this new project, and I can't wait to see you guys spit some free game to him.
Ocho's a smart one. I'm
Excited.
just,
Oh, get out of here! Ocho loves watching you speak. Like Ocho.
I love watching Ocho
Learn
speak.
a lot every day from Damizza.
Oh, please.
Oh, you ain't the
Off
only
the
one.
gram.
You ain't the only one.
See? All right,
Yeah, we
let's
are.
go. What are we
The
playing
shadow
first?
band, Graham.
So Ocho, you were just saying something interesting about the song that we just heard. I wish we could play it for everybody out there, but one of the things he said. Go ahead, kick that.
Nah, just when I listen to the song, like, I get, like, because you consider yourself Chicano rap, right?
That's another controversial question.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Because
Well, let's address it.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I always love to, because there's people, oh, you're ashamed to say you're Chicano rap and this and that. It's not that I'm ashamed to be called Chicano rap, and I'm going to say this again. I don't like getting put into a little box of Chicano rap because I don't sound like other Chicano rappers. I don't see why Eminem wasn't called white rap Why am I Chicano rap? Because I'm a Chicano? Cool, I accept that. But why isn't Eminem white rap? Why isn't House of Pain Irish rap? I could keep on going, you know what I'm saying? So that's the only thing that I say, like, why do they categorize me and put me in a box? Not only me, but there's other people, you know, that feel the same way. I mean,
they try to normalize it, no matter what it is. Like gangster rap, we dealt with the same thing like in the early days of Power 106 with rap in general, because it was gangster rap.
Right.
You know, I mean, I tell a story sometimes, like even when we started playing Eminem, I get a call from Will Smith saying, "Yo, we got to talk." You know, he's at the movie set. It was crazy. Like, you know, I need to sit down and talk to you. They can understand, my kids can understand the words that you're bleeping out. You know, they always try to categorize it if it's something that scares them.
right,
Do you know what I'm saying? I don't know why rap scares people,
right.
but they have to categorize it in each. So even the question, is it Chicano rap? It's just to put it in a box. I would blow it off.
You know, I'll be real. Like, there parts of things that hurt me about that whole controversy, because like I'll have friends that are podcasters tease me like, "Oh, such and such doesn't like you too much," you know, or they feel like you pigeonholed the movement or this after their interviews.
Yeah.
And you know what's crazy is that they weren't checking for my first radio station that I was at in Oxnard told me that that's everybody's cousins requesting Mr. Shadow and Spanish Fly, that, you know, that's not really a market. You know, that's not really, those aren't real legit artists. When I went to
Right.
Power and I saw I was getting the same requests, and then I saw what was happening in the streets with Murray Brumfield and how you guys were all selling your albums to him, I'm like, somebody's making money. If this guy's
yeah.
coming and he's pulling out 5-10 G's out of his sock for you guys,
Yeah.
he's making money.
And what I was going to say is we had a conversation before we started, and we were talking about Capone, and we were talking about how he uses the RVs and the hard CD sales and the touring and stuff like that. I think when someone says Chicano rap, I have more respect for those rappers.
Right.
Because the Chicano rappers are the hardest working rappers in the game. Like, they ain't sitting there on some, I'm not talking about you like you're not here.
Right.
But they're never on that, I'm waiting for it to come to me. It's about the bling. It's about the show. It's about popping bottles in the club. No, it's what you're doing today. How do I do this right? What's the grind?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where's the bag and how do I get to it?
Right.
You know, it isn't for show.
Yeah.
Well, and
You know what I mean?
realistically, in the streets,
It's street.
in the streets too, it was Chicano rap. Like you guys were
Don't get me wrong. We were,
coining it as Chicano rap. And
Yeah.
the crazy thing is, when I launched the radio show, it was going to be Chicano rap at its finest. And one of my bosses
Yeah.
said, "We'll let you do it, but I want you to call it Latin hip hop so you leave it open to everybody."
Right.
Which, thank God, we said Latin hip hop, because that left, you know, all the bridges that we all built when we went to New York.
Right.
And when
Oh,
we
man.
I mean, Thurston
Yeah.
Howell, Joel, like everybody would, the whole, you know, the whole Puerto Rico scene, like we wouldn't have had that merge, because it wouldn't have
Yeah.
made sense if we didn't leave it open.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been on that.
It was funny behind the scenes when they're calling the radio station a rap station, so that they can't call it a top 40 station.
Yeah.
So that the other stations in the market could label it so they could keep the advertising out from it. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the best way that we did it was said, "Fuck you, yeah, we're a rap station."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
mean,
and that's why I'm saying I love your answer,
Right.
because it's like, hell yeah, I'm Chicano rap, but why are you saying it like that?
Yeah. So,
You know what I
don't get me
mean?
wrong.
Like,
I'm proud of what we did. I mean, we were
Yeah.
so big and strong that we
was a
created a
movement.
genre.
Yeah.
We actually created a genre where we had a section in every record store.
Shoot, we
Chicano
had
rap.
end caps because
Yeah.
you know, and that wasn't like on purpose. Like I heard a conversation
Explain what
about
an end
this on.
cap is,
Okay,
though, 'cause a
so
lot
I
of
heard
people
about a
don't know.
conversation. I heard about this
Shout out Violet
conversation on
Brown.
Brown Bag,
Man,
and I want to actually sit down and have this conversation with Letty and Capone together, because they were talking about the end cap. So what an end cap is end cap is prime real estate. Yes, shouts out to Violet. I adore her and love her. She
Oh,
did
yeah.
so much for us. So it's prime real estate. People pay top dollar to have an end cap in a grocery store when you see like
they're paying
the whole
stupid, like 20 grand per store.
Yeah.
like crazy money. And Violet wanted to support us, because what was happening is that the labels didn't know whether to put us in the Latin section or in the hip hop section.
Right.
And nobody could find the music. And so Violet was like, "We're making an end cap."
Yeah.
And that's how that happened. It wasn't like, okay, let's segregate Chicano rap in a corner. No, it's like, let's put this in the front of the store and let's represent.
I mean, don't get me, it was dope. I mean, I walk
Yeah.
into to do an in-store, and at the time it was Dog Pound, Snoop Dogg, and whatnot. And, you know, it'd be Dog Pound, Shadow, Night Owl, Snoop. Number 2 seller. I mean, that was
Yeah,
dope.
but that's also to show you the power of that movement.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, I mean, good on you for it.
It's bittersweet, you know?
So now you had said something real quick that I want to cover about a line he said on
Wait,
there.
before we go on, you said Chicano rap. You
No, yeah, the
never
reason
finished the
why I was
question. I'm
saying-
sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're good. You're good. The reason why I was saying that and the answer makes sense is because I hear like you're probably one of the originators of making it like not that box sound. Like you were like when I'm listening to this, I could hear that a lot of the newer artists they like were influenced by you type thing. Like
Right. And I mean, don't get me wrong. You know, a lot of the young cats they've redone some of my songs. Like Little Weirdo redid "Excited," which is a big song for him.
fire.
That was one of my biggest songs, you know, off my first record. And there's been other cats, and you know, the homie Bozo just redid "Who Wanna Roll."
Ooh.
He was my hook, the bounce rock skate
Okay.
roll, you know, and he's signed to OTR, you know.
Mhm.
So you know, they give me my flowers and everything, and it's dope. It's dope to see the young cats, you know, seeing that they grew up on it, whether it's from their uncles or dads or grandpas or whatever, you know. And yeah, like I said, I'm proud of the movement we created, and you know, I never would have been on a radio float with Khoolaid and Daddy Yankee in New York for Hot
Oh,
97.
the PR parade. We were deaf afterwards. You couldn't hear nothing.
Throwing beads off you know, the radio flow with Daddy Yankee, and I forgot who else was on
Boobs
there.
all out.
Yeah, boobs all out.
like-
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Boricua, eating mofongo. Oh yeah. Yeah, don't play with me.
Don't
You
get
know,
her
this is
started.
my Puerto Rican.
She might do it tonight.
baby.
Stop.
Yeah.
We went to Casanova's house, and
Oh yeah, Casanova. Shout out Casanova.
yeah, so
And we were making records
Yeah,
like
yeah,
with
it was
everybody in
dope. It was
the
dope.
yeah,
That's
Joel
when
Ortiz,
yeah,
coming
yeah.
through.
Yeah, one of the dopest.
So that's what I was telling you, Ocho, that I feel like is really important for these new school cats is instead of creating the beef, what really helped all of us was creating that bridge and bridging everything, bridging Cali to Miami to Puerto Rico, bridging, you know, Cali and Cali and Texas and Cali and New York. That was so important to the movement and made it so strong and created genres.
Yeah.
Okay, but you said something
like, I feel like that's a problem everyone has like out here now that they're not traveling or nothing and they're just staying in this little bubble here. So
And
you
that's-
saying that
and that goes down to what I always say: there's rappers and there's artists. Which one are you? You're a rapper for your neighborhood and just staying around, or you're an artist that's going to travel the world and take your work everywhere, you know?
Good way to put that.
And that's, you know, that's the truth. I mean, I've traveled the world, you know, from Mexico to Japan and everything in between, bro. You know, and people in Japan singing your songs in both English and Spanish, word for word. That's crazy. That's something that you have to experience. You can't really explain it, bro, because
I will never forget the first time. I've done 14 tours of Japan. And the first time we went out there, I was telling Kaz, I'm like, he goes, oh, you got to do this song In Twos from the NBA Live soundtrack. I'm like, ain't nobody gonna know that record out here. You're crazy. And he's like, Miz, just trust me, you gotta do this record. And I go out there and I start rapping the lyrics and I look down and this little Japanese girl is like rapping, all up in the cake, you're like, she's rapping it, and I'm sitting there going like, stop. You know that shit? Like I literally stopped the track and just asked her, and she's just like, yeah. And I'm like,
it's crazy.
okay, start that again. Like I couldn't, I almost fell over the stage. Like, but the Japanese fans are so like meticulous. Like, I mean, they just head to toe, you know, Dickie suit or khaki suit, and then like the lowrider, pristine Dayton's, you know, to the, I mean, you could not do it any better.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. And not to be able to communicate with them, but yet they sing your song word for word.
Word for word and
that's
perfect English.
Yeah, and Spanish.
But don't speak,
and Spanish.
and Spanish, but don't speak a word of English.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what I love is that I started this by just wanting you to say one thing that you knocked me down with off of a line he said, and it just was, do you even remember what it was now?
I don't.
So he said something about not sounding like, what was it that he said? I'm not, you know, I ain't trying to sound, or I ain't trying to do it for the gram.
I don't
All
do
right.
it for the gram. I do it for the fam.
But then you said something about not trying to sound like you guys, and you said something like, it's crazy because this record sounds like what's cracking right now.
Yeah.
So
Even the beat, like, I don't know, like I could hear a couple like newer artists gassing that beat. That's a fire beat.
Dope.
Well, and also,
just how influenced, I guess what he was saying was how influenced the sound now is by that sound. And I think that's what I've noticed is I feel like I've came out to my soundtrack. I came out just trying to do woman and mother healing, and then I'm jumped back into the gang because it's like, this is my soundtrack. These kids are out here, Ranes, like everybody's out here, they're on.
And it's funny you say Ranas because Ranas hit me up before you went to get locked up a couple years ago.
he's dope.
And we were supposed to get on the record, but then he got locked up.
Yeah, and that's a problem too. Go ahead.
Well, and the
sorry.
other thing that you don't
just
realize
do
about
that.
your power,
Yeah, do that.
we're talking about Japan, but your show was on in Japan.
And I've never been. I'm the only one out of all of us who has never been.
So
And,
dope.
like, so Power had something called a USEN line, where we would broadcast 24 hours a day in Japan, and not many people know that.
I didn't know that.
That's how Big Boy, that's how all of that stuff happened in Japan. That's how the Chicano culture, all of that came out of your show.
I be seeing that culture on TikTok
Dead.
too.
Wait, no, you didn't know that?
I didn't know
Okay, what
that.
started the
I'm
hip hop,
dead.
the West Coast hip hop movement
'Cause it's so
in
huge
Japan
Oh, yeah.
was Power 106 because we were broadcasting through the USEN line to cable in Japan.
Now it's everywhere. Indonesia, Cambodia.
So for
yeah.
2-3 generations, that's why, and then it stopped. It's 2 generations, then it stopped, like I think 10 years ago. I could be mistaken, but I think it stopped 10 years ago. But that's what latched on was the Chicano movement.
That's crazy.
And that all came out of your show.
That's crazy.
So you're the mother of that whole thing. And then branches came
I'm
off
just
of it.
inspired by it.
Well, no,
I
and
was
then the Lolo
inspired by it.
culture started.
Yeah.
And like the Dub
Big.
C, DJ Quick, that kind of thing. And that was like the Big Boy start of it because Big Boy with the morning show started a different one, which was like the gangbang culture, if you will. And then there was the Chicano rap movement one that came out of your show. And then there was the mainstream stuff.
So that power movement was also creating little subcultures in Japan. That makes so much sense.
Well, anything. Like, you look at it like this. It's an island in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah.
So if you give them water, then they'll like water. You give them whiskey, they're going to like whiskey. You know what I'm saying? So Power 106 was the only Western cool American radio station broadcasting into Japan through the cable network. So when
How
a
come I didn't get paid
specialty
for that,
something came
manager?
along that was different, that had a culture attached to it, then they'd go, wait a minute, why are they wearing their socks like that? Wait a minute, why are they wearing the bandanas like that? Wait a minute, what's up with those sunglasses? Oh, look at those tattoos. Who's Mr. Cartoon? What's it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and the style of it, then they could go, and you have to remember the Japanese are very meticulous craftsmen. You know what I mean? They look at detail. You know what I'm saying? So with Chicano culture, there's a fine detail to it. You have to be a master of the craft to do it right, whether it's Lolos, whether it's the creases, whether it's, the music, whatever it is, it's
Got to do it with class, homie.
it's master class shit.
My shows, they would wear every color bandana. Because
Yeah.
to them, it's a fashion.
Well, and I said, it's funny you mentioned that, dude. It was crazy because the first time we went to Japan, I was walking with Big Boy and I saw someone flamed up from head to toe. Red bandana, red cufflinks pushed back on a freaking brown Dickie suit,
Yeah.
red laces, chucks, this, that, and the other. And then standing right next to him, head to toe was in blue. And I'm like, Big, they about to fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's gonna go down. And he goes, Miz, calm down.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, watch. These all red, all blue. We about to see something crack up.
Yeah.
And he goes, no. They get the style, but they don't get the culture.
Right. So it's a fashion. For them, it's a fashion.
Right. It's a fashion. It wasn't.
the culture.
And then as we're standing there, the other one looks over and goes, there's Big Boy. And they slap hands. And I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like, you would never see that in
Yeah.
LA.
I'm telling you.
And then he says something funny is he pulls out a red bandana and he goes, I'd never do this in LA. And he puts it in his pocket and walks on stage.
Yeah, it's crazy. I seen yellow bandanas, pink bandanas,
Oh, yeah.
baby blue bandanas everywhere throughout everybody that was there. And again, it's
Somebody better take me to Japan, damn it. I'm getting mad.
Yo,
All
and they
right, play another
collect.
cut for us, baby.
So let me ask you about that. Hold on, because you said there was a big name,
Couple of them.
a couple of them that you reached out to that you had asked to be on the project. Then Ice Cube jumps on the project, and then they came back to you.
Yeah.
Or one of them did.
Yeah.
Like what? Like explain that. I mean, you've been a legend in the game a long time. You've done a lot of work. Ice Cube says yes out of the gate. Does it? How did the Ice Cube thing happen?
Because Ice Cube doesn't do that.
No, he has, and
He doesn't for anybody.
And okay, and not to put it in a label, but a Latin rapper, Chicano rapper, underground rapper, any of those titles. Like it's not something he does.
He doesn't do it for
He doesn't
any
do features.
artist.
He doesn't do features like that.
Yeah.
So like, how did that
One
come
of the best
about?
of the best.
My big bro Cocaine hooked it up, so shout out to him.
Oh.
He reached out, he made the plug, and we made it happen. Well, he initialized it, and then JD from the Lynch Mob, shout out to him, made it go through, and
So now, but then other rappers saw that, not to remain nameless,
yeah.
and said, "Oh, now after not taking your call or not wanting to do it or turning you down or acting in Hollywood, and then all of a sudden they're like, do it."
Yeah, I don't know what it was. I don't know. Honestly, don't know what it.
What motivated it?
Yeah, but yeah, it did, and then it just happened that the album was already done and mastered, and we were just pushing forward. We ain't gonna. It is what it is.
That's crazy because but I wanna say congratulations for one, for changing the game again with a Cube thing. You know what I mean? And the reason why I say that too is, and I want to say this with the most respect possible, but it's better for him to be on your record than it is to have him on your record, if you know what I mean.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because that level has never done the other way around.
Yeah.
Snoop Dogg getting on Lefty's shit, that was like, oh, okay. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, that's different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it was only because Lefty had this buzz and it was blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? Let's just be real about it. But it's never the other way around. So to hear Cube do that and it be on respect of Cocaine and the whole thing, I love to hear those
Shadow's
stories.
heritage.
But that's what I mean. I mean, he must have, I did his homework. You know what I mean? Because Cocaine can bring it to you.
And he wanted to hear the record first, what I mean? So Cocaine got on the hook. I did my verse. He heard it. He was like, okay, all right, I'm fucking with you. So it happened,
And I mean it with respect all the way around. But I'm saying, like, that's dope.
So
Like,
that's a
what
lot of
hip-hop's supposed to
pressure.
be.
So that's a lot of pressure, though, too, because that's a big record, and you must feel a certain pressure, you and your team, about like, okay, this is special. How do we not drop the
No,
ball?
that's icing on the cake. That ain't pressure.
No, I mean,
That's, one of the reasons why we're here.
It's
yeah.
motivation.
Because we don't want
know
just
what's scary?
we don't want just to release it and let it be okay. Another song, oh Shadow
Yeah.
got Cube, okay, whatever. No, we want to put it in their face and actually see it for what it is. It's not just another record. It's Ice Cube and Shadow with Cocaine. And Cocaine's the most featured artist in the world. And if you can Google this, I'm the most featured Mexican rapper on the West Coast. So to make that connect happen, it was just crazy.
Well, and
so what are you gonna? Oh, sorry, miss.
I was gonna say the same thing you were. Like, is that going to be the single? You shooting it as a video? Like,
We're definitely gonna shoot a video. We're working on that right now. So I know the man's busy. You know what I'm saying?
well, and he's coming off of his record.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's
So
one
I'm
thing-
sure there
that's
was
something that he
avails
mentioned.
and shit.
That's one thing he mentioned because he's gonna shoot me a promotional video for it and everything, but he said that he didn't want it to clash with his record that he released. So, and I mean, if he would have sent it to me, I wouldn't have used it right now because I'm not ready. I'm ready to drop it, but first we got to strategize and do it right.
So what do you see for this project? Like how do you?
I mean, it's it's like Till I Die is one of the, if not the biggest record that I dropped to this day. I don't know why. If you ask me, like I listen to it and I'm like, turn that off. You know what I mean? But this record is like I said before, Till I Die on steroids. The production, the features, and the promotion and marketing. Till I Die is what it is without no marketing and promotion. Millions of copies sold. I mean, everything that a record with the label behind it would have done, but that just all happened out of footwork and out the trunk, you know. So
You know, a very wise person once said, anytime you're gonna do something and you haven't done it done it in a while, strip down to your core and do what you made you famous. Do the exact same thing. Like for instance, this Instagram thing, I'm doing 1:30 breaks 4 times a day instead of 4 times an hour on Instagram instead of a radio station. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm doing radio breaks. So I just hit the button, I do 1.5 minutes, and I'm out.
dope.
And I just post it.
Yeah.
So I would do the same thing. Like, what was the footwork? What was whatever your biggest record was? Where did you start? Was it flyers? Was it street team? Was it pressing copies? Was it
pressing
single?
Copies. It was pressing copies and driving to all these towns.
I would do it the
With a
exact same
trunk
way.
full of
What did I
CDs.
say? What I say?
You know?
I don't think so though.
No, but
Well,
with the tech stuff.
Okay.
No,
Oh, yeah,
no,
yeah.
no. I'm not.
Okay,
I'm
okay.
saying,
Yeah.
look, it's a new day and age.
Okay,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? I say do it, time it. You know what I mean? But that's what I'm saying, a hybrid. It's a young man's game when it comes to tech and this thing. Okay?
Grown man's
But it's
business.
also a grown man's game with your core market.
Yeah.
But who still has
And
this-
listen to what I just said.
Like vinyls and all that for
And
sure.
listen to what I just said. I get on the Instagram, I spit my old man game, but use the methods of you young cats.
Right, social media.
You know what I'm saying? On social media.
Not both works. When
You know what
do a
I'm
little bit
saying?
of
So
both.
if you,
Yeah.
that's
So
what I'm saying.
That's what I'm trying to do. So we already had that we're gonna press up CDs and vinyl because I have a following that wants it. I have collectors that pull up with binders of every one of my records, bro. Like
Oh, I didn't know that.
literal binders of all my CDs, every compilations, albums, you name it, whatever has Shadow name on it, they have it, and I sign every single one of them, and it's their collection.
Well, and like you said, if you get, I'm sorry to interrupt, but if you get on the street and do that hustle, but now you have social media.
Right. So what I'm thinking right now with everything that I'm learning right now is that we dropped the hard copies in vinyl, but we used the young man's social media to push it, not necessarily releasing it digitally yet. You know what I mean? Till we're comfortable with what we made back.
I would say do it that way. Do the promotion and the snippets and the clips, but then do the organics and the RV shit. Get out and
Yeah.
slam the pavement, but tape it and do the behind the scenes and do the, the vlogs of being on the road and shaking hands and all that and get the momentum going and then drop it DSP.
kind of make them beg for it to be
Yeah.
on DSPs, pretty much.
Yeah, because we were even talking about doing our own tour. You know what I'm saying? And selling the merch. Doing the sweaters and the T-shirts and vinyl and CDs.
Who do you see on your tour?
Whoever's down the road. I mean, I would want to get some of the young cats and some of the old
Hey, let's
school
go.
cats.
Let's do that.
You know what I'm saying? And then my dude Gary, he's down, and so is my cousin Finnis.
Maui's down?
Oh yeah.
Let's go, Maui.
Yeah.
Let's
You
go, homie.
you went one of them provost or whatever the heck they are. Khoolaid get the big room. We'll crash on the couch. As long as the kitchen table turns into a bed, I'm good.
Hey, that'll be fun. Let's go do that.
The old school RV style.
Are you down? Like, let's go do that.
down.
Let's make it let's have Shadow
Get a couple
carry.
of my young artists on there.
Yeah, we'll grab a couple of the young artists and
I
we'll get
think-
a couple vlog shooters
Dope, I mean, I
and
think
go city to city.
yeah. I mean, that's the whole reason why we're here, because if it's gonna take that and these shows that we put on, I mean, I think we'll be all right.
So you can't catch up with our Shadow tour.
host,
Híjole,
I'll get
cabrón.
with the young cats till they go on
Yeah.
stage.
Did you hear that one?
No, I missed
You
it.
said you host. What's Ocho gonna
He'll
do?
perform, you capture it all, and I'll get drunk on the bus with the young cats.
Yeah.
No, this fool will be finding all the young artists, signing everybody. He'll be in the corner quietly signing everybody. So what do you think? Is there anything you have to add to like what he could do that would be different?
And before you answer that, the reason we don't want to release it is because once it's out digitally, everybody's gonna get it, and it's not.
Yeah, the foreplay, bro. The
But they're gonna
foreplay.
get it. But
you don't
they're
just
gonna
bust
get
your
it
nut.
anyways,
You know
aren't
what
they?
I mean?
Like, is this kind of a delusional world that they might be living in? Because once that physical comes out, somebody's gonna get that up, right?
Well, you
But
press
not
it,
on Spotify.
And it's gonna be out of his
because
control.
They also you could press it and they put some kind of code where they can't download it, they can't upload it anywhere. It's something that the person has.
You're the
to-
tech guy.
I don't know about that.
Yeah,
I don't know about-
It's
yeah.
something that
A watermark.
Or not a watermark, but on the actual disc, they can't download it. They can't upload it to YouTube. They can't download it to their. They have to.
You
just
really
physically-
think there's something that'll stop somebody from loading it or recording
always
it?
find a
They'll
way.
probably
Like-
record it.
Yeah,
somehow,
but
not
you can
directly off the disc.
the copyrights now are crazy. So like if somebody tries to upload your shit onto, if you register it, if they try to load it onto iTunes or Spotify or YouTube, it recognizes it.
with the IRC or what is that code
It's the
called?
ISRC code. So once you register it, once you do all of that, and you register your metadata, because now you register the metadata. So
But what if, I mean, wouldn't somebody just go up, like, fuck
It's
all
not
that?
like it
Wouldn't they
was.
just go up to YouTube or,
it's not like it was. That's what we're explaining to you.
Yeah,
or if somebody goes on Twitch and they're just streaming it and then everybody's
could do that.
recording it?
there'll be
like-
people trying to leak it for sure.
Yeah,
But it's not like it was.
It could
like
be ripped down easily.
yeah.
well, it recognizes it. You know, because they do copyright strikes. It recognizes it.
Yeah.
I had somebody do that to me recently with a bone record. Like they tried to upload it to iTunes, and I got a notice.
Yeah, like there's a album I
That's
released in
crazy.
2012 called All About Me, which I did from my hospital bed when I had my stroke, and
had
I
a stroke?
forgot about
two
that.
strokes. I just had one 5 years ago.
You look great, player.
Thank you. God is great. God's amazing, bro.
Damn, I wish I was as healthy as yours.
Because your voice is so
Yeah.
low.
So
Wait, so rewind. What? How did this stroke thing? I know you're just breezing over
Yeah,
it.
let's talk about that because that
like-
healthcare is such an important
Yeah,
initiative
so-
for Ms.
We've been working on healthcare for artists.
so
Do you have healthcare?
Do you have insurance?
no.
See, that's why. Why do you think I keep fighting for this?
So
You were at the meeting.
Yeah,
Do you have insurance?
yeah, I do.
so first off, I was 268
He's
on one
rich. What are you
But not through, yeah, like
He's rich.
okay.
Ask Ocho if he has
So
insurance.
last time you see
he got
me-
that Cadillac
Not
shit.
last time. I'm
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to
No,
interrupt.
you're good. So like 5 months ago, I was 268. I'm 193 now,
Wow.
and I'm not on no strict diet. My cousin will tell you, and I just intermediate fast. I eat from 11 to 7. I drink at least 2 gallons of water a day, and that's what's been helping me. You know, so
But
So
was it
you
a-
still don't have insurance?
I don't.
And
But-
so how did you get through those medical bills with the stroke?
Oh, so back then I had Medi-Cal.
Okay.
You know, I'm from the hood. Like, I had
Yeah.
Medi-Cal.
Yeah.
So at 30 in 2009, it happened in my sleep. I woke up and back then I said, you know me, I'm gonna smoke it. I'll smoke a joint and I'll be good.
What,
in the
what
morning."
were you feeling for somebody who might go through that?
So it happened on Thursday morning. So Thursday morning I woke up and I did my usual. I smoked a joint. I tried to go eat and drink my juice or water, and I threw it up. And I was like, I must have had a flu or something. So I said, fuck it, I'm gonna smoke, drink some 7-Up, eat some crackers, and I'll be all right. You know,
That's a
my
that's a grandma fix.
Yeah.
Right there.
yeah, my whole day went like that. The next day, my equilibrium was off. The room was spinning, and I was walking sideways to the bathroom to throw up, and I was having cold sweats. And I was
You're
like,
so lucky.
damn.
So you were already 24 hours in.
yeah, this is Friday. Saturday, I start feeling the numbing feeling on the left side of my face. My lip, my nose, my eyelid wasn't blinking. I was drying out my eye.
Wow.
And I was still like being arrogant, like I'm gonna smoke weed, I'll be all right. And then Sunday, paralysis hit.
Okay, I'm just gonna tell you right now, Nate and Irv,
Yeah, no, I know.
exact same fucking thing.
Yeah.
That arrogant, like, yo, I'm good. I don't need the doctor. I'll shake this shit off.
No, keep in mind, I didn't do no hard drugs. I've never drank alcohol after, like, when I was 21 with that incident with Cool. I stopped drinking alcohol.
You did
Yeah.
after that night
Yeah.
at City Walk?
I've never smoked. I drank again. I was like 21.
Wait, what happened?
Oh
I was-
my God.
I was like shit.
It was a party I
faced
had
up.
sponsored by Hennessy
Yeah.
at the Rumba Room at Universal City Walk. And the night ended up with me covering him on City Walk and getting shot by pepper bullets.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah.
So
And he was saying a lot of stuff that he didn't mean.
yeah, it was alcohol, bro. And since that day, I didn't like that
Alcohol.
And you
much.
guys are still together.
Oh, you know me. I'll see
You
human.
take a rubber bullet for a motherfucker.
And plus, I'll see people. Like, we all go through things, and we've got to be able to see each other
oh, you
and
should see
talk
the
to
shit
each
I
other.
put up with you,
See-
Jesus.
Oh, my God.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ay, Dios mío.
Yeah.
So yeah,
You know, like-
That's
I didn't
crazy.
like
So
part of
that
me. I
day,
didn't like that side of me. I didn't like it, and I regretted it for the
Shadow, I am so proud of you, and I love you for
Oh my
sharing
God,
that
you guys just
story.
hurry it out. I gotta go to the bathroom.
That's dope.
So Sunday paralysis hit, and I was still being ignorant. And my wife was a nurse until she got her back got hurt. And
So you had a nurse in the house with you too. See,
Right.
and that's the thing that people don't understand is like there's as a nurse, as a psychiatrist with family members who have mental illness, like that doesn't matter. I mean,
Yeah.
individually, it's all up to us to
Yeah.
take care of ourselves.
yeah, and her mom was also in nursing, so she called her mom on Sunday and said, "You know what? I think you're having a stroke." I was like, "Nah, I'm straight." And she called her mom over, and she was like, "You're having a stroke." Monday morning came, and I couldn't. This was sagging. It's like they drew a line, and this whole side just had no movement. And she goes, "I don't care what you say. You're going to the hospital." So we went, and when we get there to the lobby, the nurses rushed me to the back. Didn't even sign me in. And then the neurologist saw me and put me in tubes, X-rays, and everything, and then told me I had a major stroke. I had a bleed at the stem of my brain. So he kept me there for a couple months, and then got released with no medicine and no strict diet. They only prescribed me protonics for my acid reflux, and I was like, "Wait, hold on, man. I need answers, bro. Like, I just had a stroke. You're sending me home, you know?" And there was 5 doctors, like 2 doctors, a neurologist, a neurosurgeon, and I forgot. Oh, a
And were you
therapist.
diabetic at this point with the
No.
weight? No.
No. I was going to the gym twice a day. I was like super fit, you know, and
Oh, you were then.
yeah. And then they said, "We feel stupid in the 200 years of experience between all of us. We don't know what to tell you. We don't know what happened to you except that you had a bleed at the stem of your brain. What caused it? We don't know. But,
Good luck.
yeah, good luck." So they sent me, and all I got was therapy to learn how to walk again because I had no equilibrium. So I was walking like I was 103 years old. And yeah, so it took me 2 years to recover. I couldn't say P's, I couldn't say B's. It was so frustrating when I would try to go record. And finally, when I could, I recorded that album, All About Me. And I did the artwork, and I released it from my hospital bed. And when I pressed it, that's when I learned about that code thing that they
Yeah.
could do to where people can't rip it or download it or upload it. You know, it's like a security thing.
Yeah.
Paid the extra cash. They installed it in it, and unfortunately, that album didn't get the shine it deserved. Yeah, and to me, that was gonna be my comeback album
Yeah.
because I
How
didn't
long ago was that?
I didn't release nothing since the records you guys released,
Okay.
and that was a big stretch. And I was like, okay, 2012, I'm gonna drop something, and people kept bugging. People thought I died. People thought I stopped rapping, and when I didn't, that's why my social media didn't start till like 2015 or 16. Everybody else jumped on it right when it came out, and that's why they have 300,000 followers and whatnot. So, and then fast forward 10 years later, when I turned 40, I had my second stroke, and it happened in my sleep again. But this time I woke
You
up,
knew.
and I already felt the fucking tingles, and I was like, "Hey,
Yeah.
I told my wife, you know what? I'm having a stroke. Take me to the hospital."
Did they give you the shot this time?
No,
No.
and sure enough, they keep me in, observation and everything, and then this time the neurologist, technology was more advanced now. 10 years later, they got more ways. They have the dye. They drink you drink the
Yeah.
dye, and so literally every day I live it like it's my last because I can bleed out right here, right now. You'll see blood come out my ears, my eyes, my nose, my mouth, and I'm done. And so every night, when I pray and I wake up, I thank God that He's giving me another day of life because I can literally die in my sleep. I can at any moment. I could be driving. I could be in the shower. I could be anywhere. And there's no cure for it. There's no medicine. So, and that little cyst is the size of a BB. But when it decides to swell up, it swells up enough to where it gets like if you grab a needle and you poke a balloon, that little of a leak is enough to cause that. So,
Yo, so when they told you that, like, like you said, you pray before you go to sleep, but like, yo, your view of mortality has to be crazy.
my faith has a lot to do with it, bro. Like
You're not scared.
I'm not scared.
But you've come to terms with it.
Yeah. And that's why every time I speak to one of my loved ones, my kids, especially my kids, my wife, my mother, anybody, I tell them I love them every time before I hang up because it could be the last time. You know what I'm saying? And
God bless you, brother.
Thank you. And it's not, if I lived in fear of it, it'd be crazy to live like that.
It's very few people I get to say this to. You are a good man, bro. I've known you a long time, but you are a good man.
Thank you.
You know, I've never
to
seen
be.
you act out of character. I've never seen you treat anybody any different. Like every time I see you, you're always the same guy.
Yeah, I mean,
You know what I mean? So
And
just
most
out
of
of
all, if he does,
now, Ocho's a different story.
yeah. Most of
He's
all,
a great guy. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding.
when he does, he owns it and he corrects it.
We all do. But see,
So-
that's a good man. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like I always say,
Ownership is
if I
everything.
make a mistake, I always do it. And people be like, yo,
Not
you made a
everybody
mistake.
does.
At least you admitted it. You know what I mean? Like, and that's what makes a good man. Like what you were saying about how artists, you'll go to them and they'll be like, nah, I'm Hollywood, I ain't doing that. And then they'll see somebody else do something and go, oh, okay, now I want to do that.
Yeah.
See, that's not gangster to me. That's not reality. Well, I shouldn't say gangster because that's used too much, but it's not being a good man. It's not being real. You know what I mean? That's that Hollywood shit.
yeah.
And that's what, God bless you, bro.
Yeah, no, thank you.
But to live with that every day and to treat it like that, that I got a lot of respect for you, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I have to live for my kids and my family, bro. You know, I can't let
But
it be
the
a burden.
example is what
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah.
Being a good man, it means that it means that you're a good man. You're a good example of what we should be as humans. Not just a man, you're a good human. You know what I mean? Showing that example to the kids, like you could live with this where you could die every day, but you're showing by
You're showing
example.
up just
Yeah.
to show up, just to keep going and show up and
Yeah, you
keep
just-
following those
Well,
dreams.
and that's what I love about you. Not to get your ego any more than it is, but I'm just kidding. Or am I? But you show up every day, like no matter what you're going through or what rabbit hole you're about to dive into, you still put on your big girl pants and go to work. You know what I mean? Like we all deal with that. Mental health is another thing that we've been talking about. Is how do you deal with that? But you seem to have Jedi'd, you know, that end of it. That would destroy a lot of people. Some people
Yeah,
would
I
never
mean-
leave the house on that shit.
Yeah, and it's crazy because it would interfere with a lot, you know, especially when it has to do with me, you know, musically or, you know, with my kids, you know. Every time I see them, I try to put on the biggest smile for them. You know what I'm saying? And they came to terms with me living every day like it's my last because it literally is. You know, so if I have to, you know, do something to make somebody feel better, so be it. That's what I'm gonna do, and I try to do it. You know, and that's just the person that I've become. It's part of growing up. You know, I don't. There's a lot of people that have done me dirty. My team.
Welcome to the music business.
No, not even in the music business, bro. In,
Just in this-
personal life,
Wow.
you know, and it's people that you never would have thought of, you know, doing you dirty, and it's like, I mean, it is what it is.
You know, I saw a video today where Fat Joe said, I told all my friends that I was broke one day. And he goes, and I had a lot of friends. And he said, I told everybody I was broke one day. And he goes, only 6 stayed with me. Out of all of the 30 people that were like the whole terror squad and all of that. Told them all, one day, called them all together, said, I'm broke. I don't have no more money. There's nothing I can do for any of you. And only 6 of his friends stayed with him.
That's wild.
That's a crazy story.
I've
Well,
been
I
there.
want to hear this Ice Cube joint.
Oh,
Where we
play that.
at?
Which one is it?
Let's see which one's next. There you go.
You know what's crazy is I remember when I did Lights Out for West Side Connection, when I heard Cube on my beat the first time, I literally shit myself. What was it like hearing Cube on one of your songs? I mean, because we grew up in that era, you know what I'm saying?
You know,
Like, there were these ones where, you know, you didn't think you would get to that level.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Cube is that guy. Dre is that guy. You know, the first time I heard myself on a Dre track, even with just a little ad lib, it was like, oh shit, like, how did that happen? You know, but to hear Cube doing a verse.
me and my boy Gary talk about it all the time, bro. Like we couldn't.
But where were you when it happened, when you heard the first thing, and what was your response? Did it come through the email? Like,
Yeah.
how did it?
Yeah, and I sent it to my boy Gary, and we were both like, "Bro, we got fucking Q on the record," you know. We were both saying like we can't. We were still trying to process it. Like we were like dog, this is Ice Cube, NWA, fucking, you know, West Side Connection, all this other shit, and we were like, Oh, you know, sometimes you just gotta swing for the fence. You know what I mean?
And you did it, man.
yeah, so
Actor, philanthropist, director. I mean, he's beyond rap.
yeah, and at the time he was filming in Canada, and you know, and he was doing his big three stuff. So he just for him to take the time to do that for us and come through.
Yo, if Cube wants to do something, like we recorded Lights Out in a trailer in Blythe, like with a generator, and this is when Pro Tools first came out.
Yeah.
But he's like, I want to do the record, but it was like had to be turned in 2 days. So he's like, you're gonna have to come to the movie set in the desert, and we're gonna have to do this in my trailer. And I'm like, well, okay. So, and this is back when Pro Tools, you couldn't just grab a laptop and go.
Yeah.
This is like when Pro Tools first came
Towers.
out. So it was towers of racks,
Yeah.
and we blew the first generator. So like they had to hook it up to the movie generator. You know what I mean? Like, because it was like 10 cords and racks. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't, you know, it was the big computers and the big towers and all of that kind of stuff. So, I mean, but he literally did it in his trailer in the middle of the desert, but he wanted to do it. You know what I mean? And when you're at that level and you're like Cube status, that's why it's even more dope. You know what I mean? To be an independent artist or to be, you know, something out of the norm that Cube does, and for him to still
Yeah, I mean,
do it. And
Till
shout out to Cocaine, real one.
till this day, I mean, I'm still processing it, bro. Like that's, you know, Cube on my record, bro. And even when I told my daughter, she couldn't believe it. She went and watched Are We There Yet Again?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like,
That guy's on my dad's record.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's dope.
and you know, it was a blessing, bro, and we're super stoked. So we want to. And again, that's the reason why we're here. We don't just want it to come out because that record has so much potential to do a lot of things. You know,
So how can we help you?
that's what I'm asking you.
I think what you get from this, to reel it in, is you do what got you here. You do the grind, you do the touring, you do the vinyl, you do the pressing, but you market it online. And I think you with Khoolaid and Ocho, you quarterback with your team on the schedule of it and do it just like you said. Put in a little of the touring and getting out and handing out the vinyl and doing some of that, but promote it online, and then do just like what you said, and then last do the DSP.
Ocho,
what I
if
would
this was your project, what would you do with it? If that was your record, what would you do with it right now?
Yeah, Ocho. No pressure.
No, it's just because like I see what he's saying, because that'll be crazy, and it'll be different, but I would for sure release that as a single right now onto DSPs. I would go
Go ahead, say fuck Damizza. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I would go crazy on the content. Like, you know what I mean? I always say reels and stuff. And then
Can you explain
When you
crazy
do
on the
both at the
content?
same time.
Because some people don't understand what like the amount of content you're creating. Like how much content are you creating for one release?
like something like that, you'll do 10 different looks, like at a liquor store, at a graffiti wall, somewhere known in San Diego where everyone's gonna be talking about the background. It's all about the scenery. So like I would do 10 different looks to that song. And then when you were talking like your whole story about how everything that happened with you with your health and everything, I was like, I got an idea where you should do like a really cold promo video. We should clip a little bit of that, clip a little old videos, but kind of do like a little mini commercial to this album to hype it up on the social media. And then what I do a lot of Instagram promo where I'll put like $50 to $100 under the post, and it'll blast it pretty well.
The boost.
Yeah. And you should make a TikTok for sure.
Now, if you boost, if you boost your Instagram, is Instagram going to hold you back in the future for stuff that you don't boost? Because I worry about that. Sometimes I'll have
That's
a video
funny. I was thinking that.
yeah, so
They're not gonna let you go up because they want you to keep
because
spending.
they want you to keep paying.
Oh,
Yeah.
the second was doing 10 million a month, and then they dropped that $350 plan. I didn't do it, and it cut it in half the next week.
Well, no, but this part of it.
And I haven't been able to get back over 5.5
Here's
since that plan rolled out. And it sends me those things. Want your post to reach more? You know, I mean, I mean, come on. They're not going to do anything unless they... Dude, it's like Spotify. If you don't do that 30% in discovery mode, they ain't going to let you get into the mainstream.
Well, but here's what I'm wondering. If you're just kind of like, myself, a little mini mom influencer, and you just got some little good, little active, little numbers, little viral, and then you have something that's dope that you're like, okay, let me push this a little more. Let me put $25 on this. Once I put that on that, are they going to stop the movement on my other stuff because they want me to pay? Because
No, they're going to stop it on your whole account.
Right, that's what I'm saying, because they want to, unless I'm paying, because
That's
they
what I'm
know I
saying.
have money. Almost like that one almost like artists who will go out there and whatever, pay for features. Ain't no artist gonna fuck with them without getting the money. So is Instagram doing the same thing to me as a creator if I boost anything? That's why I don't.
No, what I'm saying
afraid
is
I'm afraid to boost.
Yeah, that's why
So that was
the
my
new thing
question
I
to
do
you.
is I'll let the post go up on its own and then do it like days later.
Got it.
So it kind of does what it does and then you boost it.
So when you have something, you boost it.
Yeah.
Dope. And so 10 different looks, not meaning 10 different because Maui got nervous over there. He's like, 10 different videos?
And you have to remember,
No, I'm kidding.
posts are monetized now. You know what I'm saying? So if it gets over a certain number, they start sending you money for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they're not just going to keep paying you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, is your account set up for monetization?
I don't even know. Probably not. No.
But no, you need to, because,
Okay.
like if you get over, like when I was doing the 10 million or whatever that was, they sent me like $600 every now and then. It's like $50 now, like $6 if something does $1 million or, something like that, or 6 cents.
No, I ain't never got no bucks. They
But
don't
that's
give a
what I mean.
fuck.
You need to set it up for monetize, but they're not going to just pay you. You know what I'm saying?
I just got a message from Instagram a few days ago where it says, earn up to $5,000 a month if you post so many reels and do so many numbers. And I was like, what? That was like gibberish to me. I don't know what the fuck they talking about. You know what I'm saying?
Are they really paying?
They are. No, they are. It's not crazy amount. TikTok pays more. Like I get paid a lot off TikTok. But
So how would an artist like Shadow like it was funny because I had a reel that I posted from the Santa Fe and Lefty session and it didn't do anything. And he said, no, you can't post a produced reel. This is what you need to do. And he took like the dumbest clip I had in my camera and posted it up and it went up. And it was like, just like
they just want to see a raw clip. Little 10, 15-second clip because she was adding all the clips together and
reels and voiceovers.
Crazy. Miss Crazy went viral off one song that some girl used, and she got like 1 billion streams or something on TikTok. Like her song was, I forgot what it's called.
Don't get me started. The problem, so I have a song with Nate Dogg. It got 1 billion streams on TikTok last quarter. Now the problem with that is it was only on 5 or 10 accounts. So you only get paid per account used.
Wait, say that again?
Yeah.
Okay, so I got 1 billion views on TikTok last quarter with this Nate Dogg record. And it was only on like 5 or 10 accounts. So it was like 1 million on one, 500,000 on, or 500 million on another, da-da-da-da-da. So they don't pay you per stream, they pay you per account.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's
that's
like,
why I build up sounds where I'll do an influencer marketing thing under the TikTok sound. So then it blows up where everybody's doing videos because you'll get paid off of each person doing a video.
Yeah, see, so is there people that we can hire to do that shit? Because I wouldn't know what the fuck.
he's saying he'll help you.
Yeah, because
that's the
I
guy.
got you.
He's got you. If he says he's got you, he's got you. Now, one other thing.
I'm already seeing like your name is popping on TikTok. You don't even have an account, huh?
I don't.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've done a lot of posts.
Yeah.
He's the TikTok baller.
Yeah.
Yeah, like your Till I Die song goes crazy on TikTok.
Remember I told you? What does it have?
It has like over 1,000 videos under, and that's like organic, and that's pretty good as an organic.
And again, that's my first album. That's the
That album came out in what year? Like,
96.
yeah.
When I pushed it, and then after I sold
that's crazy.
50,000, they picked
This
it
person
up.
was just doing art, like showing art with your song in the background, has 275,000 likes. That's likes. So that means it probably got a couple million views. Yeah, it's crazy.
Till I die.
See?
Yeah, we're trying to recover that master back. My boy got attorney. That's the one I was telling you about.
Yeah.
We got attorneys on him, trying to get the first 3 records because when I signed that contract for those records, which was one with 2 options, which turns out to three albums. I was under the age. I was like 16 or 17 when I signed. And I didn't have a legal guardian with me or nothing.
Oh, that's easy.
So
Well, it's not easy, but
right. And I've asked them for the contract how many times, bro? I've asked
well,
them.
but here's the thing, though. If you just go to court and prove your legal age and say there isn't one.
Right. So I've asked them just to have that to prove to them.
No, screw that. Go
you
and
don't need
petition to the court. Forget the contract. Forget them. Forget all of that. Just go to the court and file the thing saying I need to be.
Compensated.
Yeah, because I was underage. Because it doesn't even matter. There's no such thing.
Because the contract's not even valid.
Well,
pretty much.
because look, why sue him or why deal with him if there is no contract? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, you were underage. So if I were you, I'd just release the freaking record and let him sue you and say I was underage. That's the way I would do it personally.
Could you just cease and desist it or no?
Well, here's the thing. Okay. He paid for the recording, so technically he owns the master. But if you were to go in, what I personally would do is go in and re-record the records. You know what I'm saying? Go to the original producers, get the beats, retrack the beats, go in the studio and pull a Taylor Swift. Go in and just re-rap everything and just put it up on YouTube, Instagram, everything, and promote that shit as some new shit.
That's true. Because
And
they
say, I re-recorded my shit, support me, not that.
Yeah, that wouldn't work with the whole album, but I can do some of the songs because I have 6 of those songs was me and Little Rob.
Didn't you, like, Mellow Man Ace did it with Mente Rosa, Warren G's doing it right now with Regulate and all of those?
No, Rob's 5 years older than me.
Yeah.
He was already like older than me. I was a little kid.
But I'm just saying there's about 10 ways to do it. One, if there is no contract, then, I mean, it's exploitive for one.
So he has the contract, and I've asked him, and he said, well, and which is his little...
Bro, he's not going to produce it because it shows he's guilty.
Well, that's what he said. Straight out told me, he goes, doesn't like us to give artists copy of the contracts because it's putting ammunition in their hands.
Yeah. But if
Well,
you
it just
if
really
you go
doesn't
straight
matter
to
because
court,
you can tell that was a major release, so you can tell the release date versus your birth date, and it doesn't matter because there's such strict laws for kids under 8. Really, a contract, like even if you had signed a contract, or if your mom or dad signed a contract for you and you're under 18,
it's exploitive.
it has to go through the court system and be stamped by the courts.
And how old is it?
Well, they released it in '99. I released it in '96.
So it's 26 years or 25. Is it a 25-year or a 30-year master? You should have got the master should revert back to you at 25.
It's been longer than 25.
Okay, so
Yeah, but that's just...
So what happens?
So I would go to court, say what it is, and make him answer.
Okay, now let me ask you another layer to that for just all artists out there. So what happens with that master recording that should revert back to them if there's multiple artists on? Because like that project was him and Rob.
Okay,
and that project is classic to the streets and the genre. So does that revert half back to him, half back to Rob? Like how does that work on
There's a few factors in it, but the best way to figure it out and figure it out quickly is to go to court and ask for your freedom and let them figure it out.
And when albums revert back, do you know the rules on this? I'd like to find out from an attorney, but when they revert back to somebody, what about the producers on the record? Like who does the project revert back to at that point when there's multiple creators on it?
It depends on a lot of factors. Like for instance, the original contract holder. Do you know what I'm saying? Like Warren G would get his masters back for his recorded material. Do you see what I'm saying?
So who originally did that project?
Right. It could be Rob and you equally. Do you know what I'm saying? It could be the original designee, I think they call it. But that's why I'm saying to find out, because there's a lot of factors. There's the age factor.
Yeah,
there's the exploitation factor. There's did he know factor, because there might even be punitive on top of it, which if there is punitive, I'm not saying suing for the money. I'm saying if there's punitive action, then you can get master back plus. You know what I'm saying? If it's a gray area and it's the factor in 25 and 30 years, then if there's violation of your age and all this other stuff, then you can use that as leverage to do it. If not, you'll sue him. You know what I'm saying?
Till I Die was a classic, Ocho, and it's hard for me to follow it up with this and talking about this, but I was listening to you guys talk in the front, which I don't understand how this works. The first question you asked him was, "Are you main artist, or did you main?"
No, because
Please explain
Yeah.
this main artist thing to me, because it's came up in my life like 5 or 6 times this week, and I
Talking
don't.
about primary artists?
Yeah.
Yes.
No, because he was saying how he didn't want to release it on the DSPs like right away and stuff. But I was thinking like, what if Ice Cube, or you said Be Real, like what if they let you put them as a primary artist? And if you don't know what a primary artist is if you release it and you put them as a primary, it'll pop up on all of their pages. So now all their fans are alerted that they were on your project.
That they have a new song
And
out.
so you kind of like, when you do this, you get their monthly listeners like to kind of switch to yours, and on Apple Music.
You share their audience.
Yeah, you share your,
It's
yeah,
synergy.
exactly.
Got it.
So
that's why
that's amazing.
labels.
With the
that's
features you
why
have, it would be
Remember the
major
story
to
we were
release
telling
it to
about little bands?
DSPs because of those
Yes,
features.
I know. I
That's
get it
exactly
now. And
what
then
it was
there
about.
Another
Maybe
story
do
I
that when we
heard.
switch to.
Exactly.
Okay.
You probably got to ask them for sure because they're
Right.
signed and stuff. But
Right.
yeah. But what about this other song, Soy Mexicano?
That album, I sold.
Okay.
So I don't own the masters. But yeah, that was that's like my Till I Die in Spanish.
Oh, okay.
It's everybody knows it in Mexico. Everybody.
You know what? You two need to have a conversation separately. Do you know what I'm saying? Like a strategy conversation.
Yeah.
And then we'll augment however you need to do.
Because look, there's this Japanese guy's video went up, got
Look at
23,000
him.
likes. So if you were to have him kind of go crazy on this new tape, he has 639,000, and he seems like he's a fan of your music, and he has a platform. So you would kind of use those type of guys to push your songs. And
You would send him a DM, say, hey, will you do this
Yeah.
for me? And I'll put it on my page and give him love. Then he would do it.
Exactly.
That's synergy. That's perfect synergy marketing.
yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love this. This worked out. This is free game. This is how we do it, baby. This is just the first of many. Mr. Shadow, we ain't done with you because we are now officially going on tour. And we're
Who the fuck is
sharing game. Don't worry, we gotta. No, you
As
ain't.
long as I get my own bus, I'm straight.
You're gonna be good, boo. I'm gonna make sure they treat you like a star.
That's right.
Let's go, baby. You know how we do it. Damizza, Khoolaid, Ocho.
Hood rat in every
Shadow.
city.
Let's go.
Let's go.
The ladies like hood. What's a hood rat dude?
I'll send you
Well, we're-
video.
Okay, perfect.